Entering the house for a bit of a walk around, coming in from the front door into the living room. The living room is of a very good size, and to start off with, let's just walk down to the southern facing doors. If I turn to the left, these are the eastern facing doors. There's no back door in the kitchen, so these will be the main exit out to what will be a terrace or patio and the back garden. And looking from here, you can look down to the lovely little valley which is below, which the gap between the trees was recently cleared by a neighbour, and there's now a lovely uninterrupted view down into the little valley. If I turn round now towards the right, back towards the south, and then over the other side of the living room, this is the west facing doors that look towards the road. The road is 25 or so metres away from the house, so there's not too much traffic and therefore not very much noise. The French, they prefer to put their houses closer to the road for some reason, but I wanted it back as far as I could before the land started to fall away, making building difficult. And outside I've got a nice entrance and what will be, when it's all terraced and finished, an area for parking and turning cars around. Turning round in the living room, that's looking towards the front door and towards the corridor that goes up to the bedrooms. Carry on turning round. Now let's go towards the kitchen. So here's the kitchen, just standing in the middle. This will be the wall along which will be the main worktop. I'll show you what's going to be along there in a minute. The sink will be here. Over this side there will be a worktop with a dishwasher underneath it. The exit to the living room, and the area here between the doorway there and the doorway there. This is big enough to have a small table and chairs which will be useful for everyday dining and so on. Won't have to use the main dining room suite, which will be out here in this gap. I've made this wide enough to use the large dining room suite which I brought with me from the UK nearly 11 years ago, and which has never been used here in France because it was too big for my old house. There will now be enough space for the table and chairs to go in here. It consists of a table with 8 chairs and has been used with an extension to seat up to 10 people at Christmas. There will now be enough room to put it up here. In this corner there will be enough room for the matching drinks cabinet to stand, plugged into this power point because it's got a light inside. And over in this corner there will be the matching china display cabinet with a glass front, which has lots of china, and also in the bottom a space for keeping plates and everything else. Go back into the kitchen. Over on this wall here, starting in this corner, originally I was going to put a small fridge below the worktop level, but I've decided that that isn't really feasible. The small fridge will be too small, and I'm now going to put a fridge in that will go into the corner up to that black mark there. That's where the worktop will end, and there'll be a freestanding fridge that will stand up to 142 centimetres in height and be just below the wall cabinets that will be up here. So along this worktop there will be the fridge, then a cupboard, then the oven with hot plate, and above the hot plate there will be an extractor, what's called a hot over here, that will actually ventilate to the outside, so the smells and damp and the whatever won't stay in the kitchen. Coming along here then will be just cupboards and so on. There will be wall cupboards up here into the corner, a gap where the extractor is going to be, another wall cupboard up here, another wall cupboard over the fridge. Now coming round here, the worktop will come along here and then turn to come on along here. On this corner I'm hoping there will be enough space for a little pull-out unit for taking bottles and that type of thing. The sink will be here. That will be the view from the sink, so quite nice. Then the worktop will turn round, corner cupboard and dishwasher with a cupboard above it and possibly another one beside it, although I want to make sure there's enough room to open this window. I still think there will be enough room for another cabinet, 2 cabinets at least along there. Right, coming out of the kitchen, let's go into this little area. As you can see, the front door opens straight into the living room. I don't think that's a problem nowadays. Days of entrance halls and so on, wasted space, I think they're overrun. You don't need an entrance hall here. I've got a nice porch outside. Along here there's enough space for me, for example, to have a table with a computer on. Got a couple of options there because I've got 3 bedrooms, and the 3rd bedroom, as you'll see later, can be either a bedroom or it can be used as an office, in which case I wouldn't need to put the computer over here. Here we have the separate WC, a couple of lights, not that big, not too wide. You don't need a massive space, do you, for a little separate WC. There's enough space in here and enough, I think, of a height of the walls to have a little cupboard where you can put in cleaning materials, that type of thing. Next to it there's a large alcove here, a full height alcove, which is going to be the cloak cupboard. I shall build cabinets here with a pair of double folding doors, I think. Plenty of space to put in coats and things, and having storage right up to the top, so there'll be loads of storage. I had none in my old house, so it'll be marvellous. In the bottom here there's the manifold for the heat pump. All of the flow and returns, so you can see the reds and the blues. Red is the flow, blue is the return. They all go out in coils. Each floor space has a separate section, because if you had it all in one, by the time it went back to the heat pump it would be cold, and by the time it got to the last floor area the hot water would be completely exhausted. There is no connection, unfortunately, from this manifold to the heat pump, and which I thought was a bit weird, but I'll show you. This is the cellier, the utility room. The heat pump will go here in the corner, the heat pump unit. The heat pump fan, etc. will be outside. This is where I thought the connections for the heat pump were going to come up, but apparently they're not. So there's obviously a bit of jiggery-pokery to do here, and in fact they're going to lose the flow and return from the heat pump in bedroom 2, as I'll show you in a moment. Here in the utility room, again 4 lights, 4 overhead LED spots. In this corner, washing machine tumble dryer, in fact, I'm going to have again to save space. Perfectly fine. I like the washing machine tumble dryer. Sorry I had to sell it when I moved from Plazac, but I just couldn't keep it. Next to it, possibly the freezer, or maybe a freezer over on this wall here, a bigger one. Worktop all the way along this wall, maybe a little sink unit, because I want to use this as a workroom as well. There'll be plenty of storage, worktop, storage all along this wall, as far as the heat pump, cabinets and so on. Room for cupboards over on this wall. Don't yet know how I'm going to utilise this space, but you can see all the wiring is here, and the main fuse board will be in this corner. Okay, coming out now, there's the kitchen opposite, walking up the corridor now towards the bathroom. Here's the bathroom. Oh, in the corridor here you can see that there's a couple of overhead spots again. In the bathroom here, 4 overhead LED spots. One window, which the builder has got wrong. Obviously, because this is a bathroom with frosted windows, if you open the window, you want it to open so that anyone looking in will be looking at the wall, but they got it wrong. I put it on my plan, but they got it wrong, and they've got it opening that way. But too late, they've made it. On the other hand, if I shut it and do that, can get ventilation which keeps privacy by doing that. So it's not as bad as all that. Over here we've got, whoops. Over here we've got walk-in shower. The whole floor level, including the shower, will be at exactly the same level. And the same tiles will be used in the shower, but they will be a mosaic so that they can have a fall towards the shower outlet just here. The shower column will be on this wall. Then coming out, glass panel obviously will be here. Here there will be the wash basin on a column and WC in this corner. There's a power point here and the light switches here. All fully tiled. All I'll have is probably mirror cupboard or something over here for keeping toiletries, cleaning materials, and also Chantal, my old neighbour from Plazac, said the other day, you're going to need another bit of furniture here for storing towels and that type of thing. And she's quite right. I've got the male point of view and she of course has the female, more practical thinking. Coming out of the bathroom into bedroom 2. All the bedrooms, as you can see, they've all got 4 overhead LED spots down lighters. Window. All the bedrooms also have got a plug point, one here, each side of the bed. And I'm not quite sure which side it's on here, but there's also a switch, a light switch, which has got to be cut by the electrician when he comes back. So that when you come in, you've got a light switch here to turn the main overhead lights on, and you can then turn them off again from when you're in bed by operating the switch here, a bit like a hotel. In both bedrooms there is a full height alcove, and that is exactly the right size to take fully fitted IKEA fully fitted cupboards, which are 2.5 metres wide. That is 2.5 metres. They are 2.36 metres high. This is 2.5 metres high. So there's only 14 centimetres of blanking to put on the top. And I'm going to have them all mirror doors. They're a bit pricey, but you only got to do them once. I'm going to have full mirror on the front. There will be 5 half metre wide, full height mirror doors. So that with the light that's coming in from here, the windows have got very thick frames, thicker than I would have liked. So the amount of light coming in is slightly less than I estimated. But with the fully fitted mirror doors, full height mirror doors, there'll be plenty of reflected light. The heat pump was supposed to be in this corner on the outside, and the connections and pipes and so on were supposed to be in the wall here. But I've now been told that, because they didn't put those in of course, I've now been told that the law is that they've got to be accessible. And I've been told the heat pump is going to be moved up to the middle of the outside wall, which brings it to this corner here, and the pipes will come up and go up into the roof up there. which means I'm going to have to box them in the corner of the cupboard. Okay, no great shakes, I've got no way out of it, I've got to do it, because they're not in. Coming into bedroom 1, you can see a bit of light in here, it's a lot brighter. Same sort of thing, it's a bit bigger than bedroom 2, but the same comments apply with the alcove, exactly the same dimensions. Now coming out, back to the corridor. There's the corridor looking down towards the living room. Light switch. Up here is that's where the thermostat will be. And this is bedroom 3. Bedroom 3 can be either a bedroom or an office. I haven't put any storage in here. Firstly, it's small, but secondly, it will be a guest room. So if there was any storage, I think I would have it as a freestanding wardrobe, chest of drawers on this wall here. And because of that, the plug point, which would have been in this corner, I've moved away towards the door. The same thing, if you had it as an office, you'd probably want to put your desk in this corner or over here, in which case having the plug point there is still accessible, and you've got a plug point there anyway. So it works all round. So it can be used as a bedroom or an office. As I showed you in the bathroom, all of the windows work in the same way. Okay, open like that, fully up, tilt for ventilation. Very nice. It's a pity that the frames are so thick. Okay, here we are. There's a quick walk round. Have I missed anything? I don't know. In the bathroom and in the utility room and in the kitchen and in the separate WC, there are little vents which work to ventilate the rooms, smells, moisture and so on. All of the other living areas, they have, as you can see, there are slots in the top of the window frame. Okay? So the whole of the rest of the house, all the living areas, are being constantly ventilated by a system that's up in the roof. I have a feeling these other rooms, who have these little ventilation holes, see there's one there in the utility room, and there's one there in the kitchen, and the other one in the toilet I won't bother with. I wonder if they're being constantly ventilated as well, using the same system that's up in the loft, up there. There's no storage space up there. The electrician said it's very, very tight for moving around. There's no storage. And I hope that, I assume they're going to make some sort of cover for that before they eventually leave, the plasterboard people. So there's a quick walk round. I love the place. I'm very, very happy with the way, I'm so lucky to have been able to design it to my requirements. I'm not making do with what other people have done. It's made to my requirements, so no complaints if things don't work out right. I've got LED downlighters, spots, throughout the whole house. There are 41 of them, I think, last time I counted. They're right the way through, which should give a very nice even light. I've not chosen LED lights that are fixed, so to speak. The ones I've chosen have bulbs that are removable. So if, for example, I find that the light level is too bright, I think it's going to be too bright rather than not bright enough, I can always replace the bulbs with ones of lower power. Anything else? I don't think so. Plenty of plug points everywhere. Oh, let me just tell you about this corner here. This corner is where the television would obviously be, and here there are plug points, also network plug points. These in fact are going to be used by the television. the television cable comes through here and will be connected to these, and there are network plug points in all of the bedrooms. So it means that the satellite will be on the outside, up here, outside corner up here. The cable comes into the roof and comes down here. The decoder will be plugged in here, and then all of the other bedrooms can be plugged into that decoder through that network system. So you can have a satellite TV in all of the bedrooms. Depending on how many LNBs you've got, if you have a 4 LNB system, you could have a different program playing in each bedroom. I've only got the one cable. I've only got the single cable that will just run whatever program you want, but the same program everywhere. Okay, light switch here for outside lighting, light switch there for outside lighting over that door, light switch there which does a light over the top of this door, and also one further down between the bedrooms. I've got a feeling that they've changed something here. That one was supposed to work, the light over that door, and one between the bathroom and bedroom 2. I've got a feeling they have made the light switch for the light here, outside here. I think this is the light switch for it. I think they've changed my plan slightly, but I'm happy with it. I don't mind, no, I'm happy with that. Unless I've got it wrong. I've also got outside plug points front and back, also outside hose pipe connections front and back, which will make it easy to wash the car, watering in the garden, all that type of thing. I've also asked for a cable to be added, which I didn't put in the plan, which the electrician has said he will do, to come out while he can get underneath the house. I said I want a cable being left out there which can be connected to the pump of a swimming pool down here. I'm thinking about having a little above ground swimming pool. And the same out the back, out the front. I've asked for a cable to be left popping up outside the house. At the moment I've got a little tool store come shed, you might want to call it here, and I want to remove that, move it down to where the caravan is and put a garage up there. So I want a cable to be made available to connect to that garage, which could also be used, for example, for putting lights along the entrance, but I'm not sure about that. The garage is the main thing. So there we are. There's a walk around the whole place. I think I've covered just about everything. Right, all they've got to do now is finish the damn place so I can move in. God knows when that will be.